Hey everybody, Chris here. Welcome. Welcome on a Monday night. We're going to be talking about Bitcoin dominance. We're going to touch on some Dogecoin stuff. Going to talk a little bit about CBDCs and what is going on with the altcoins versus Bitcoin. So we'll be covering all of that today. So glad you could join us if you're here on the live stream. If not, and you're watching this on the replay, you weren't with Chris on the Monday night, 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern time, where I am in Boston. I'm on every night, 9 o'clock. I just keep showing up. So hope you can too. As always, do give a like and subscribe. Appreciate the support. Hitting that like button helps get the stream out to more people, as well as the video in recommendations to more people. So we do like those likes. And so always, I appreciate the support. Let me drop down into the corner here. Let's take a look at Bitcoin right now at 27,900. Bitcoin has been flirting with this 28,000 mark since yesterday noontime, when Bitcoin eclipsed 28K, and kind of been going up and down, hitting this strong resistance at 28,400. And where does 28,400 come? Well, if I zoom out and I go to the 2 hour, 28,400 goes boop, 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 boop. Well, I'm going to have to go to the daily because it's a while ago since it's seen 28,400. Here it is. It was last summer. So what did we have last summer? We had the Luna crash in May. Bitcoin had been trading up around 38,000 at that time, and we had cryptos just crashed as Luna was crashing. A lot of uncertainty in the market, and Bitcoin came down and hit 28,400, and it stayed there right around until June, when the Celsius crisis happened, and then all faith was lost in crypto. Bitcoin dropped all the way down to 20,000. So that was from 28,000 down to 20,000. And now is the first time that Bitcoin has seen 28,000 since that Celsius crash back in June. But that 28,400 was support back here in May and June, and is now the resistance line of where Bitcoin is trading right now. So Bitcoin could be taking a little bit of a breather here from this big run that Bitcoin has been on. So we will take a look at that. So we talked last night about if Bitcoin does dip, support here is at 26,200. But we also noted that there was this wick on this candle on Saturday that came down to about 26,800. And so that could also be a support, something to look at if there was a wick down on Bitcoin, whether that all of that Bitcoin just gets eaten up and it goes back up. And then shorter term, I'm also noticing that there seems to be a rising support line. We're getting higher lows as Bitcoin dips down. And so we'll see whether that trend continues as well. So that's the short term of what we have, with Bitcoin continuing to have higher lows. What's happening with the altcoins? Well, we look at Dogecoin, and Dogecoin did not continue to have higher lows. Dogecoin had this big dip, and this big dip I had called last night and was waiting for it and expecting it. And so I did a swing trade, big swing trade, and sold Dogecoin up here. Yes, I sold Dogecoin, but this was a setup that to me was too good to be true, watching what Bitcoin was doing in the Bitcoin chart, and then watching this 7.6 cent resistance line for Doge. I sold at like 758 or so, and then was watching Doge today, and I rebought a lot of it back in at 712. So that swing trade was a net for of about $5,000 with 1,000,000 Dogecoin. Yeah, it was 1,000,000 Dogecoin I bought right here at 712 because I had sold over 1,000,000 up here. So buying 1,000,000 Dogecoin right there, well, that's what I did. So back to being 1,000,000 Dogecoin holder. Was only a day where I wasn't here, and I also didn't lose on the value of my portfolio for that day as alts were dropping down because I was in cash for that day. And so now I'm starting back from here and moving back up. So that's what I did today with Doge and also some other alts as well. Algorand, I had also sold up here and then bought some back down here. I'm waiting to buy some more. Not sure whether Algo is going to have another dip or not. I've got some limit order set. So if we're seeing a dip in the market during the live stream here, some kind of quick dip, I may be checking my phone because I'll be getting notifications of any crypto purchases with all my limit orders that are set. So, did want to give that kind of quick overview of what that was about. What's going on? Hey, Mark, how are you? Good to see you. Mo Crypto, hello. The only reason I didn't shift my Doge to Bitcoin is because you never know when Doge will run. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit because I do have an article that was talking exactly about that. You never know when Doge is going to go on a run. Additionally, if we look at this chart that shows the relationship between Dogecoin and Bitcoin, this is really interesting because I moved it out onto the daily, and in comparison, Dogecoin to Bitcoin, since Elon Musk bought Twitter here at the end of October, and then Doge went on a second run here at the end of November, and that relationship was about 0.0006%. It's now less than 0.003%, and Doge's relationship with Bitcoin has dropped even more as Bitcoin has gone on this big run here this past week because of the banking crisis. So swapping Doge over for Bitcoin right now, maybe in the short term, you may be able to get a little more out of holding Bitcoin than Dogecoin in the short term. But at some point in time, this is going to change, and Doge versus Bitcoin is going to go up, and you're going to be able to see greater gains with Doge than Bitcoin. It's not just going to continue this downward trend. At some point in time, this is going to level out, and then there's going to be this big spike in Doge at some point in time. So yeah, swapping Doge for Bitcoin right now, unless you just think Doge isn't going to do anything and the only crypto is going to be Bitcoin because Bitcoin is the safe haven because of the banks and the dollar and everything is crashing, maybe. But I kind of think that there's enough going on to try and support all the banks that we're not going to see that kind of catastrophe, which plays right into Mark's other question here about Bitcoin to $1 million. So I had an entire stream where I talked about this, a video. You can go back, Mark, and you can look on my channel. We covered this pretty much in detail a few nights ago. But quickly, as an overview, that $1 million Bitcoin price was only if we saw a complete collapse in the US dollar, the banking system collapsing, the dollar collapsing, and essentially, I think what I said the other night was, you can buy a loaf of bread for $5 now, but it would cost you $50 or maybe even $500 if there was this big crash in the United States dollar. So that's how Bitcoin could get to $1 million, because $1 million in 90 days if there's this big collapse in the United States banking system and the dollar, $1 million in 90 days won't be what $1 million is today. So that's the theory around this whole thing of $1 million. I think in thinking about it, I think it really more is just raising the awareness of how fragile the banking system is with what's going on in the world, and that the games that the bankers were playing with your money, right? Because you leave your money with them as a depositor, and they take it and they lend it out. They buy these bonds and mortgage-backed securities and all these things. And there's supposed to be risk management there, and there wasn't the past couple of years, it looks like, because life was good, right? People were getting stimulus checks. There was a lot of money. People putting lots of money in the banks. So the banks were just flush with money. It's like they couldn't lose. The banks couldn't lose. But you knew there had to be a price to pay of printing trillions of dollars and giving it all out to everybody in these stimulus checks. There was going to be a price to pay. And I've been saying that for 2 years, that there was going to be a price to pay. And now we're paying it. What's going to happen with the US dollar? I don't think it's going to collapse. I don't think it's going to be like the Turkish lira or some of these other countries that have had their currency completely collapse. I think the Fed is pretty aware of that, and it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. But that was the point of that $1 million Bitcoin, was that $1 million in 90 days is not going to be the same as $1 million today. So that was the kind of the thinking behind it. But go watch that video, because we did cover it in a lot of detail there. So, hey, CDM, wish I had more time to average down. That's always the price, right? When you buy in early in a bull market, or I mean, even 30K wasn't really the true bull. There are people that were buying Bitcoin at 50, 60,000, and they're down quite a bit. But I've been so much in altcoins. I have a little Bitcoin, but I have a lot more in alts, because that's just what with Doge and then these other alts I've been buying. That in the long run, I think there's going to be an altcoin run, altcoin season as they call it. That's going to happen at some point in time, and that's when I'm going to be probably selling a lot of the altcoins for profit and then swinging that into Bitcoin. That's my plan anyway. But if Bitcoin keeps going on this huge run and just keeps going up, and the altcoins aren't, well, then I might have to shift my thinking a little bit. So, but yeah, 1 million Doge. Yeah, that's what I got. And I've got more buying power. And if we see a bigger dip, I may be buying more. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes tonight, tomorrow, leading up to Wednesday's FOMC meeting. Hey, Jason, welcome. Hey, Dee, are we stepping in bull run? What's your thought? When can we expect bull run? Your opinion on BTC halving and subsequent bull run? Yeah, the halving and all of that, right? So I did a whole video on the 4-year cycles. That was another live stream. The complete live stream was all about 4-year cycles. So Dee, you can check that out on my channel, where I go into detail. But because you asked, I'll give you the quick synopsis here, which is on this chart here, because I have it handy, just in case somebody asks, the 4-year cycles. And this is courtesy of Rob at Digital Asset News. He's put this together. So I invite you to check Digital Asset News out on YouTube. Rob does a great job. Keep trying to keep things simple, like I do as well. The halving and the 4-year cycles are broken up into 4 1-year chunks. You have the halving, and then you have a bull run to an all-time high. Then you have a bear market, and then you have a reset year. This is 2012, 2013, 2014, and 2015. I won't go into all the detail because I did it in a live stream like a week ago. You got to check that out. All right. The second cycle, Bitcoin halving in 2016. What happened in 2017? Bull run all the way up to an all-time high, which at that time was just about $20,000. And then what did we have in 2018? Bear market, all the way down to 3,500. Big bear market. And then a reset year. The reset year did have kind of a mini bull run in it in 2019, about the first half of 2019, but then settled back down the second half. We could be seeing something like this right now in 2023. This could be what we're seeing, is we're seeing this mini bull run, but it's not going to go to all-time highs. We're not going to see that if the 4-year cycles stay in play. So we look at the cycle 3, 2020 was the next halving. And then the bull run actually started in the latter half of 2020, those last 3 months of 2020, when Bitcoin went on a big run, hit its first new all-time high in April of that year at 64K, and then revisited up in November. And I actually saw 69K. Rob has 67,617, but I had 69K. And then what did we just experience in 2020? 2022, I mean, bear market. And now here we are in 2023. Now, Rob put this together right at the end of 2022. So he kind of ghosted in maybe what he thought could happen in 2023. And that was more off of what happened a little bit in 2015 with a little bit of rise, but it's looking like it's more like 2019 is really what's happening here in this reset year, is that we're having, in the first part of the year, we're having a bit of a bull run, but it's not the full bull market run that's going to go up to all-time highs. So those are the 4-year cycles there. So my guess would be, as we're looking to 2024, there's going to be a halving year. In 2025 is when we would see Bitcoin run to its next all-time high, if those 4-year cycles are in play. So DD, that's the 4-year cycle overview very quickly. I did cover this quite a bit in detail on its own live stream, in my own video. So I encourage you to go take a look at that. So as we're looking at Bitcoin now, 27,905, it's staying right under 28,000. So we're seeing a little sideways action here. Doge is at 717 right now. So it'll be interesting to see what ends up being green and red here as we scroll down over the last hour. We've got some alts that are dropping a little more and some that are a little bit in the green. So we'll be watching that. But this is just over the last hour and 15 minutes. This is the, let me refresh this. This is the FOMC preview. The CME group has put this together. What do they think that what's the Fed going to do? Are they going to raise interest rates up another 25 basis points, or are they going to keep it level? And right now, they're saying about 74% chance that they're going to raise 25 basis points. And then a 26% chance that it's going to be a pause, and they won't raise them at all. This would help the banks out. If they do a pause, that helps the banks out, because there's less pressure on the banks than if they did raise interest rates another, 0.25%, and there could be more banks that might be that much more under on their bonds or mortgage-backed securities that they have for long term, that much more underwater. However, if they pause, we could see a little spike in inflation again, because this is all the Fed has to battle inflation. This is all they have is interest rate. They manipulate the interest rates up and down. That's the only tool they have. So we'll see how that plays out. I still think it's going to be 25 basis points. That's what Jay Powell had said last month. And I think he's going to stick with that, despite the banks. I think they probably feel there's enough support in the banking system right now with what's been going on that they're probably going to do this. And that's kind of already priced in. I don't think the markets are going to react that drastically on Wednesday when this is announced. But Tuesday could be an interesting day leading up to that. We'll see what happens. Let's see, preview of the stock market. The futures are, kind of, it's 0.05% up, 0.04% down. So it's nothing. This is just pretty much even right now with the futures. I'm kind of thinking it's going to be a red day in the stock market tomorrow because there was kind of this Monday relief rally we saw today. But we'll see. Bitcoin dominance. So I showed this article last night during my live stream, and it's appropriate tonight because we had touched on it, but now a little more in detail about Bitcoin dominance. What does it mean? What's going on with it? What is it about this 45% number in Bitcoin dominance? Well, we have this chart here on TradingView called the Bitcoin dominance chart. And Bitcoin dominance right now on TradingView is at 47.8%. It has not hit 48 yet. It was just below. But we can see what happened between yesterday and today. Bitcoin was going up in price while the altcoins were staying level or going down. And a little bit more of that this evening here. So kind of interesting to watch. If we go back to the daily, we can see how how this has just skyrocketed over this past week. Just like the price of Bitcoin has gone up, the Bitcoin dominance has gone up, meaning Bitcoin has gone up in value, but the altcoins haven't that much. Not like Bitcoin. And that's because you've got a lot of people and institutions taking their money out of the bank and they're putting it in Bitcoin. Bitcoin is becoming the safe haven, kind of like gold used to be. But people don't even trust the gold market anymore. Bitcoin is what's happening here. So that's what this is. Now, is this going to retrace a little bit while the alts catch up? Sometimes we see that. We could see this sort of, mini little bull run by Bitcoin, and then the altcoins are going to go on their little run and follow it. That could happen. We'll be watching that in that. But what is this? What does this mean, 47%? Well, what that means is, and we look at coin market cap, and we look at Bitcoin, and Bitcoin has a total value right now of $539 billion. $539 billion. And that's compared to a total market cap of $1.129 trillion. That's all the value of all the cryptocurrencies all added together is 1.129 trillion. So Bitcoin at 539 billion of that 1.12 trillion is what puts it at 47% of the overall crypto market. And here's Ethereum at $214 billion. That's about 19% of the overall crypto market. And then you have all the other altcoins kind of going down in their dominance. Dogecoin is usually right around 1. Right now it's a little lower because Doge is at 9.5 because it just dropped down. So it's at 9.5 billion. But if Doge had been up at 11 billion, like Cardano is here, then it would be 1%. But Doge is a little lower than that right now. So that's where So that's where Doge is in the overall percentage dominance. Executor, welcome. Good to see you. Glad you could make it. We're just here talking crypto. Every night, 9 o'clock, I'm here. That's what I've been doing for the past few weeks. So glad you can make it. So Bitcoin dominance rises to 9-month high as altcoins retrace, because that 9-month high, again, goes back to June when we had the Luna crash and Bitcoin really got hit hard. So the US banking crisis, in which 3 banks were closed within days, the subsequent bailout speculations, as well as Fed lending $300 billion to certain banking institutions, is what pushed Bitcoin up this week. The Bitcoin stood right around $20,000 last Sunday, but then started its march up during the week. And after several consecutive massive rallies, Bitcoin was above 26,000 on Tuesday, little bit of retracement, but then went on this big run Thursday and Friday up to $28,000. That's what Bitcoin did. Despite being unable to overcome that line yet, falling slightly, Bitcoin still trades north of 27,000, market cap over 520 billion, and its dominance over the altcoins has reached the highest level since June 2022. So that's what's happening with the dominance. Crypto slate, Bitcoin dominance spikes to 40-week high. Again, the same thing, net inflows of its market cap just has been into Bitcoin, just a lot into Bitcoin. Bitcoin rose by 5.6%, while since Friday, ETH has been up 2.2%. So in Bitcoin versus ETH, Bitcoin is outperforming, just like Bitcoin is outperforming most altcoins as well for the week. So very interesting how the strength of Bitcoin and just people buying more Bitcoin than they are altcoins. So the Bitcoin dominance goes up. In 2020, catastrophe set a bull run in motion. If any event would seem to lend itself to a crypto ascent, it would be a banking disaster. Exactly. I mean, that's why Satoshi made Bitcoin, right? After the 2008 banking crisis. That's what spurred it on, and that's why Bitcoin exists. And now here we are, all these years later, experiencing what many thought couldn't happen, was banks failing. Again, as I said, this goes back to the stimulus checks, in the pandemic, and just the government just printing trillions and trillions of dollars here in the United States. And the banks just were like all this money coming into the banks, right? Because people had all these checks, right? And they just put it all in the bank, right? They were doing things, buying houses and doing other projects and things, which was all great for the economy, right? But a lot of people were just putting the money in the banks, like a lot of money. And so the banks had all this money and they just couldn't lend it all out in sort of the normal method. So they started doing things like these long-term bonds and mortgage securities. And who knew a 1.75% 10-year mortgage security would be underwater? I did, because I knew printing all that money was going to lead to inflation, and there was going to be a price to pay. And as I said earlier, now we're paying it. Now we're paying it. Oh, CDM, you have to be a bear. Bitcoin down to 23K. I don't see it. I would like it because I have a lot of cash right now and would like to scoop up a bunch of crypto at a low price, but I don't think it's going to fall like that. But we have our opinions. We have our, what we think is going to happen. And we don't know. We don't know what the sentiment is going to be after Wednesday. Right now, we're seeing stability in the market a bit. Bitcoin's just could end up just going sideways here for a little bit. So we'll see how that plays out, but could be some sideways action. Considering Bitcoin was at 20K a week ago, maybe dipping to 23K, could be. With the 50 basis point hike, probably, but with 25 basis points, what it looks like it's going to be, yeah, maybe there'll be a little downward movement, a little pullback, but don't know. Did Bitcoin go up 40% in a week? You can definitely go down 40%. Yeah, but there were reasons for it to go up. Are there going to be reasons for it to go down? And what's that reason going to be? That's what we'll be looking at. Bitcoin is a clear winner of the US banking crisis, says CoinDesk. Of course, CoinDesk is a little partial towards Bitcoin. The narratives around bank failure, stable coins, interest rate hikes seem strong enough to propel the price of Bitcoin. So with Silicon Valley Bank failing, since then, price of Bitcoin has been on a tear, and this all kind of goes over that at a high level. You've got the bank failures, and then as the banks fail, investors are opting out and they're buying Bitcoin. That narrative is strong enough to propel the price of Bitcoin. That's what's happening. On the other hand, stablecoins were unstable, because what do stablecoins have, right? They need to have their backing in reserves at a bank. So we saw USDC, right, became unpegged for a while, regained its peg. And then there was another one too. What was it? DAI here is a stable coin. It became unpegged as well, and it's back on its peg. It's the number 16 largest cryptocurrency by market cap. So that is, the stable coins need banks. That's where their reserves are. I mean, wouldn't it be interesting if there was a Bitcoin-backed stablecoin? That would be really interesting, wouldn't it? Bitcoin-backed stablecoin. That's what I think should happen. But that's what we saw was the stablecoins became a little unstable. This is what happened to USDC here on the 10th of March, dipping down, but it regained its peg and came back. So that was good. Federal Reserve, it looks like we might have a suspension of rate hikes. We'll see on Wednesday. That would give the entire market a well-needed breather, but I think it's still going to be 25 basis points, especially as some view the failure of banks as being closely tied to the raising of rates by a multiple of almost 20 over the last year. And I've shown those charts in other live streams. So they're very partial to Bitcoin at CoinDesk. And so this author is saying, I keep saying Bitcoin, don't I mean crypto? And he says, no, I mean Bitcoin. Amid all the market turbulence, Bitcoin's price is going up faster than even the much smaller and often more volatile altcoins, except for a few. There have been a few that have been outperforming Bitcoin. We see that with Bitcoin dominance, a measure that looks at Bitcoin's market capitalization compared to the rest of the crypto market, which we just covered. So all in all, there's a systemic global bank risk. Stable coins and crypto prove that they need those banks to be stable. And amid all the general angst, the Federal Reserve may be pulling back on rate hikes. All that has added up to Bitcoin swinging up massively over the last week. That continues from here to be anybody's guess. To be sure, uncertainty is never cause for celebration. Potential negative consequences there could be, but for that time being, Bitcoin with its fixed issuance at a time of monetary expansion looks like a way to opt out of the most recent crisis. So that is what this big Bitcoin run is about. We'll cover Dogecoin in a minute. Let me catch up here on the chat here. Joshua says, have you tried the new Robinhood wallet? I have. So as a test, because you can't hold Dogecoin on the Robinhood wallet, you can only have Ethereum backed or Polygon backed tokens. Is all you can have. So this is the Robinhood wallet that I have here. I've got $512 in my Robinhood wallet. I bought, well, I thought it was $500 worth of Matic, but it ended up being $495 worth of Matic. And then I got $10 free of USDC because that was the deal of starting the wallet when I did. I don't know if they're still having that $10 free USDC, but I got $10 free USDC. Always have passwords. Always have passwords on everything. So that's my Robinhood wallet. So I do have it. And I was able to, with one click, essentially be able to move that Matic over from Robinhood to the Robinhood wallet. And the fee was, let's see what the fee was. I moved over 453 Matic. And recent activity, there it is, $495 worth. And it gives you the transaction of what happened. And that transaction was the transaction fee was 0.0039 Matic, essentially way less than a penny to move it over. So I do have the Robinhood wallet, tried it out, but again, the coins that you can have on this wallet are they're either Polygon based or Ethereum based tokens is all you can have on this. You can't hold Bitcoin, you can't hold Doge on this Robinhood wallet. But I checked it out, gave it a try, because that's what I do. And I think if you're into those kinds of tokens, you can have fun with this wallet. I do have my seed phrase. So this is my wallet. It's not Robinhood's wallet. It's my wallet. But yeah, the tokens you can hold are 1inch, Aave, Anchor, Axie, BAT, Chiliz, Compound, Chronos, Curve, DAI. I don't know what Fox is. Frax, Phantom, Golem, The Graph, Gitcoin, Link, Mana, Matic, Maker, Pax, Quick, Sandbox, Sheep, because that is an ERC20 Ethereum token. Sushi, True, Uniswap, USD, Tether, Wormhole, Wrapped, AVAX. You can get wrapped Bitcoin or wrapped Ether, but I don't know why you would want that. You should have the real coin. And so you should buy Bitcoin, not wrapped Bitcoin. And you should buy Ethereum, not wrapped Ethereum, and put it in a wallet that supports those. Yearn Finance. And then they've got some others that you can't swap with, just a handful of others. But that's what they support. That was the whole list right there. But if you buy on Robinhood, I mean, you can transfer in from any other network, but then you've got to go through and do QR codes and all of that. And I mean, you could do that, but if you buy on Robinhood and you just transfer it over, you're going to have the minimal transfer fee. Like I showed, that Matic transfer was less than a penny, and so yeah, I was able to transfer that right over. And yeah, seems like a decent wallet. I don't recommend wallets on phones though. I recommend hardware wallets, because you never know. Things can happen with phones. That's called a soft wallet, having something on your phone. And this is a hardware wallet. This is my Ledger Nano S that I have here. And Mark is asking, what are your thoughts on the new Ledger Stacks wallet? Let's go to here. Let this come up. It's taking its time. Well, that's coming up. So I bought the Nano S. There's also the Nano X, and then there's Stacks. The Nano X is has a few other features that the S doesn't have. And this is the S. This is actually the S Plus. It's what this is. I don't know why Ledger isn't coming up. Something's not coming up here. So let me try it this way. See what Google says here. Yeah, ledger.com. See if I can get into it this way. Yeah, that Ledger website isn't loading right now. I don't know why. That's not good, right in the middle of a live stream. Should have had it up already, but didn't know. The thing I don't like about the X and I don't like about Stacks is it has Bluetooth built into it. I guess you can turn the Bluetooth off, but why would you pay for that? You don't want a hardware wallet with Bluetooth. Why would you want that? That's just begging somebody to come in and hack it by having Bluetooth on it. So I don't know why you would want that. I like that. And this is the cheapest one. It's the one I recommend is the S. Because you plug it in, right? You do your business, transfer on, transfer off, and then you unplug it. Safe as can be. You want it safe. You don't want to use Ledger Live and always have it connected and be like buying and selling crypto through that. Why have a hardware wallet? That's my take on that. So, and it's expensive. It's more expensive than the X to get this Stacks thing. And I guess it has more features on it and things like that. I saw some reviews about it, but I'm just like, why would you want all that? You want a hardware wallet to store crypto safely, securely. And that's why I recommend the S. I have a link in the description below. If you want to try look at Ledger, use my affiliate link. You get a little something extra. I get a little something extra if you use my link. So invite you to try that out. But that's my bit about Ledger. And yeah, that website isn't loading here right now. So I don't know what's going on there. Let me try. Let me try here. Maybe it's that browser. Yeah, something with that browser is what it is. I was trying to use Firefox as my other browser, but we'll use this one here. And accept the cookies. The smartest way to secure your crypto. And they do have a Ledger Stacks here. You can take a look at it. You can discover it now and look at what the Ledger Stacks does. But I prefer if you do a compare and you click on this compare here because it shows them lined up here. And so here's the Ledger Stacks, $279. Here's the Nano X, $149. But here's the Nano S Plus, $79. That's what I bought, was the Plus. And here's why. Bluetooth mobile connection. This is what I was talking about. The Stacks has Bluetooth. The Nano X has Bluetooth. S Plus does not. You don't want it. So why pay for something you're not going to use? That's my take on it. The Stacks has these other things, a curved e-ink touch screen, customizable lock screen, wireless charging, embedded magnets. Okay. It's a touch screen. You have to have Windows 10. Somebody had left a comment saying that they didn't have Windows 10 on their computer. And I'm just like, well, you need to upgrade your computer then. They wanted to go to a library maybe and use a public computer in order to use their ledger. I was like, no, why would you do that? Why would you do that? The wallet holds 5,000 different types of coins, all three of them. So using Ledger Live, I just use it to set it up and that's it. You got your secret recovery phrase. So that's the comparison. Again, use my link in the description below to go to this site and check it out. Again, Nano S Plus, $79. There is some there is a shipping cost because they do come from France, but it's not bad. And for international, it's not bad. I would not recommend buying one of these off of Amazon or other third-party places. You want it from the manufacturer. That's my recommendation on that. So, not loading on Firefox. I don't know why. The problem with Robinhood wallets is when you try to sell, you can't transfer back until you swap it to USDC. Really? Sergio, I didn't know that. I've got my Matic on there. I mean, I can't transfer the Matic directly to my wallet. Let's see, Matic. Send Matic. It says I can send it here. Scan a QR code or enter an address to send Matic to another wallet or exchange. Right there. So I don't have to swap it. I can send this Matic directly to a wallet or an exchange. So I don't think that's correct, Sergio. CDM, it's only Wednesday. I don't think Powell is speaking tomorrow at all. I think it's all waiting till Wednesday when there's going to be the rate hike, if there is, and then there'll be comments. What's going to happen to Doge? Sarbas, welcome to you. What is going to happen to Doge? 7.22 cents here. It looks like we're just kind of going to be going sideways here for a bit. We're in the lower sevens. I don't see any big great runs on the horizon right now with Doge. We're waiting for some big catalysts. So then I think it's going to be up or down. It's just going to be up or down in terms of following Bitcoin, and then usually it follows Bitcoin at 1-to-1, but right now it hasn't been. Bitcoin has been outperforming Doge and just about all other alts. So, so not expecting much in the short term right now with Doge. Oh, you meant to sell it? Well, yeah. I mean, I could transfer that Matic to Coinbase or to Robinhood and then sell it on Coinbase or Robinhood if I wanted to. You can't sell it directly from the wallet. But then why would you want to? Use an exchange. Use the wallet to store it, keep it safe. But then when you want to sell, transfer it to an exchange. It's minimum cost. I mean, the cost to transfer this Matic was less than a penny. So, from Robinhood to the wallet, I mean, you can't beat that. Less than a penny. So from here, I could just transfer it to Coinbase or back to Robinhood if I wanted to sell it. That would be cheap. So what's going on with Doge? Dogecoin parabolic run can be triggered by this major factor. What's the major factor that's going to trigger a parabolic run for Doge? What could that be? Well, again, it's a U Today article, so you start with that. From the superficial view of the performance of Dogecoin, one may be swift to highlight the slower growth of Doge when compared to other top digital currencies like Bitcoin, which we have talked about. In reality, Dogecoin's growth is slow, but as of the time of this writing, it's dropped by such and such percent, while Bitcoin did that. However, despite this outlook, there's a chance that Dogecoin can witness an unannounced parabolic price run in the near to midterm. This projection is justified by the view data from crypto analytics provider Into the Block, which shows there's a growing whale concentration for Dogecoin. The whales are accumulating Doge, and this is this green color here. Just a higher percentage and a higher percentage of whales owning Dogecoin. Now, a lot of these whales are exchanges, and we've talked about the big wallets that you see and you hear about, all of these huge amounts of Dogecoin being transferred. They're usually exchanges have a lot of Doge. That's true. But there have also been whale accumulations. So, and why would they be accumulating Doge? Doge is going places. Doge is going places. So that was that. And then there was this little article here about, should I sell my Dogecoin? You want to sell your Dogecoin at 7.2 cents? I guess you can. But if you're doing that, you either think other coins are going to outperform Doge. Depends on what your time horizon is too. Or you think Doge is just going to be worth nothing. I think Doge is one of the OG, cryptocurrencies with Litecoin and Ethereum, and Ethereum is even younger than Doge, but now it's considered old, and Bitcoin. Doge has been around. It's been through bear markets, been through bull markets, and we know there's one Mr. Elon Musk that still likes Dogecoin. So something's going to happen at some point in time with Doge. And that's why I've got 1 million Dogecoin, because I still believe in it. And it's at some point in time, it is going to take off. And we're going to see that relationship with Bitcoin shift back to be more on Doge's side. And it's going to happen. It's going to be a while. Be patient. It's going to be a while. This is the time to accumulate. This is the time to accumulate when you have these dips. That's what I'm doing anyway. Again, not financial advice for anybody, but that's what I'm doing. I'm accumulating. I'm accumulating other cryptocurrencies too. I believe in diversity in your portfolio, just like in stocks. You should have a diverse portfolio of stocks. I have a diverse portfolio of cryptos. So that's what's going on. What else? You can use Doge card to sell your Doge. Yeah, I don't have the Doge card. I didn't get into the Doge card. I just use the exchange, buy it, move it to my wallet. But I always keep some available. Now that Robinhood, you can use Robinhood to transfer, but I also have the MyDoge app, and I use that before for tipping. This is this MyDoge app here, the MyDoge app. So I use that for tipping and for buying things. So I was able to buy AMC tickets using Doge through the MyDoge app. Went to the AMC app, bought or set up to buy movie tickets, and they had the option there to pay with crypto. I hit that, and then it took it right out of my MyDoge app to pay. So that's how you can use Doge to pay for things. That was pretty good. That was pretty good. Hey, CDM, do you know any silver or gold Doge rounds? I think you're buying some just to pass down because they seem cool. I just have this fake little coin here. That's all I have. There's one fake little Dogecoin here I got on Amazon. Little Dogecoin. That's all I got. The rest of it is the real Dogecoin, the coins, both on exchange and hardware wallet. And whatever's left when it's time to pass it down, others will appreciate it. What I'm leaving, they'll appreciate it. Hopefully. You can do the same with the Doge card, and you get Doge back for everything you buy online. Yep. Yeah, I know a lot of people use Doge cards now, which is great. Don't ever think I just don't do it. So, all right, gang, that's where we are tonight. Thanks so much. Again, we're just treading sideways here, it looks like. Bitcoin 27,956, right where we started at the beginning of the stream, just kind of going sideways here. So we'll be watching this overnight, see whether Bitcoin continues in an upward trend or is it going to break down some point tonight or tomorrow. I'll be watching that. I'll be back tomorrow night at 9 o'clock. That's East Coast time, Boston time. So please join me then. Please be sure to give a like and subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Appreciate the support. I'm going to be putting back on the 24-hour live Bitcoin chart. I used to be showing the Dogecoin chart, showing the Bitcoin chart now. A lot more interest in Bitcoin now. So got the Bitcoin chart going. I'll get that started up as soon as this stream is over. Go ahead and give it a visit and give it a like. Leave a comment in the chat on the Bitcoin chart. I appreciate the support on that as well. So until tomorrow night, hope you all are well. We'll see you next time.
Dogecoin, which started as a complete joke, has like skyrocketed to not a joke anymore. It hit an all-time high of almost 10 cents yesterday, but it was so minuscule you wouldn't have understood why you have millions of shares.
Didn't Elon tweet that too?
And arguably, the most entertaining outcome and the most ironic outcome would be that Dogecoin becomes the currency of Earth in the future.